Today on Stock Charts in Focus, we're showing you how to automate some of your portfolio tracking routines. Now we're going to do this from scratch. We're going to create a sample portfolio using a chart list. Then we're going to show you how to set that up with ChartList reports so that you can actually monitor that portfolio automatically in your inbox. Daily and weekly reports get sent to you at the end of the day. But we're also going to dig into alerts. We're going to take that chart list. We're going to show you how to set up automatic alerts for specific technical moves that you want to follow. We're going to do this for a portfolio, but the same tricks apply if you want to use this for a watch list. So lots of ideas, lots to cover on the show today. Of course, you know what it is. It's all new. It's all here. It's Stock Charts in Focus. All right, my friends, welcome to the show, Stock Charts in Focus. Of course, our product focus show here on the channel where we dig into the site, dive into the tools, show you around the features, and help you get more value out of stock charts. That's our mission here every Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern time up on the live channel, but also up on our YouTube channel after that and the on-demand platform at StockChartsTV.com. My name is Grayson Roze, Vice President of Operations here at StockCharts.com. And I'm really looking forward to today's show, especially considering what the markets are doing right now. We've had so much volatility this year. Of course, that's why we picked volatility as the theme for ChartCon 2022, if you were there with us. But so many swings in the markets right now. Of course, we're getting, as of this recording, we're getting a big bounce in the markets. We've had down days, we've had up days, we've had lots happening. Now, when the markets get choppy, when volatility really picks up, one of the most important things that you can do is monitor the stuff that you still own. If you're not sitting in cash, if you do still have positions out there in your portfolio, it's important to be monitoring those actively, even more so than when the markets are just kind of, charging higher. So today, what we're going to do is take a look at some of the tools that you can use to follow your portfolio, and not just kind of, manually on the site, but actually automatically. We're going to do some of these things, set some of these things up that are going to help you kind of track your portfolio even when you're not really thinking about it. Now, as I mentioned in the open, we're going to use ChartList reports to track things in our inbox. You're going to get a daily and a weekly report of everything that happened, price moves in that portfolio list that we're going to show you how to create. But then we're also going to set up some automatic alerts, show you how to get actually site notifications, text messages, and emails if you want them for different moves that your portfolio, your different positions might be making throughout the day. So these tools that we're going to look at are again, as always, things that I use in my own process, tools and features that I get a ton out of as a trader and as an investor. But I think they are crucial, and they're really going to help you follow your portfolio, track things, again, on the go, no matter what you're doing, no matter what's happening. We're going to use these tools to help you follow the positions that you have in your own portfolio. Now, also, as I mentioned in the open, the show that we're going to do today is kind of geared around portfolio tracking, portfolio monitoring, keeping an close eye on those positions that you actively have. But we can use these exact same tools really for any purpose, but specifically for a watch list as well. So if you're watching what's happening in the markets and you're thinking, ooh, okay, I got some stuff that I've been putting on my watch list. I want to keep an eye on that. Maybe it's time to dip a toe back in. Market's kind of rallying to the upside. You can use these exact same tools to follow your watch list on StockCharts.com as well. The whole process that we're going to show you today revolves around chart lists. So whether you're using ACP or Sharp Charts, either world, either sort of chart type, these tools are going to apply to you. So very cool stuff. We got a lot to cover. Let's dive right in. So here we are on the Stock Charts dashboard, the members dashboard. This is, of course, the first page that you see when you log into your Stock Charts account. I like to call it the heart and soul of your Stock Charts account. But there's a very important little feature of this page, which is your chart lists. Now, like I said, everything that we do today is going to really revolve around chart lists. So our first stop, our first step on the tour today, we're actually going to create a sample chart list. Again, the idea here is you're creating your portfolio, you're taking that portfolio, all those positions you have, putting those in a chart list, and then we're going to use some different tools like ChartList reports and alerts to actually track what's in that chart list. Now, the very cool thing about this too is that on top of that chart list being a very helpful thing, having all of the charts for the stocks and funds, different positions that you have, these tools are going to evolve with you. So it's not like you're setting a static list when you set up these alerts, and then that's the list that you have to maintain. You're going to maintain this chart list, and these different tools that we're going to show you today are going to kind of track along with you. So our first step here is to create a portfolio chart list. If you haven't already done this in your account, something I highly recommend. If you have, then bear with us for a second. We're going to show you how to go through this process, and then we'll dig into the tools for today's show. So first up, I'm going to come here to the dashboard. I am going to hit chart lists, and that's going to take me right down to the chart lists panel for my account. Now, we're going to do today's show out of SharpCharts, but the same concepts really apply over in ACP as well. The only thing that doesn't exist over there yet, but is coming very soon, are the chart list reports that we're going to take a look at. But in either world, you can come view your chart lists right here on the dashboard. You've got these little tabs up at the top. So you go, you'll see your SharpCharts chart list by default. But if you're an ACP user, you can also jump over and see those here as well. So first step, we are going to create a chart list. Now, there are a couple different places that we can do this depending on which platform that we're using. But built right here into the dashboard, we have a new button on this panel. Now, whichever view you select, this new button will apply to that world, SharpCharts versus ACP. Keep in mind, by the way, we are in the business of providing as many different charting tools and visualizations to help you, as many tools and features that we can. So we get this question a lot, SharpCharts versus ACP. Are you guys trying to push me over to ACP? I've been using SharpCharts for a long time. We are not. If you love SharpCharts, we love SharpCharts, and we love that you love SharpCharts. So keep on using SharpCharts. That's totally fine. If you like that interactive charting experience that ACP brings, that's there for you as well. We have these two different charting platforms now, two different kind of styles, and they are both going to continue to evolve as we move forward here at StockCharts. We love them both, and we love that you guys have access to these two different types. So just want to answer that question while we do have a little comparison here between SharpCharts and ACP. But first step, we're going to create our sample chart list, our portfolio chart list. So I'm going to hit that new button. I'm going to come up here and I'm going to use a little star and type in my portfolio. So this is going to create that chart list. Just going to set a name for it. Then it's going to take us over in the SharpCharts world to the edit page. Now, from here, we're going to have to fill this in with some symbols. You've got two different ways to do this. There's a big add symbols button right up at the top below the name. That one is always going to be there, no matter how many symbols you have in the list. But when this list is empty, you also have this big green box. You can hit that add symbols button in there as well to add symbols. So this is where you're going to populate this chart list with all of the symbols from your portfolio. All the things that you own, you're going to put that into this list. Now, instead of doing that one at a time, you can jump over to this multiple box. Make sure that multiple is checked here, and you can just type in or paste in a list of ticker symbols for all of the different securities that you own. Now, for our purposes today, I'm going to cheat a little bit, and I'm going to go in here to the From Group menu, and I'm going to set this up with just all of the different Dow stocks. So we're going to end up with 30 stocks in here. If you want to create a chart list with the Dow stocks in there, by the way, that's how easy it is to do. Anyways, now we've got our chart list. We've filled that in with a whole list of symbols. Again, in this case, we're looking at the Dow, but for you, this would have all the ETFs, all the different individual stocks, maybe mutual funds. You could even have cryptocurrencies in there. Any position that you have, you're going to stick that into this chart list called Portfolio, My Portfolio, whatever you want to name it. Now, we've filled in our list. Of course, we can go through all of the other edit steps, like applying chart styles and things like that. We'll save that for a future show. We'll save that for your own time. What we're going to dive into now that we have our portfolio chart list, though, we're going to set up our first tool, which is going to be those chart list reports here in the SharpCharts world. So I'm going to come up to the View List As menu, and I'm going to hit Summary. Now, the summary page is intended to be kind of that high-level overview for this chart list, right? It's going to bring in all of the price performance data, different things like scooters, next earnings, last earnings. you've got a ton of different options here. You can actually customize this page. When you hit that columns button right up at the top, you can choose all of those different columns that you want. Turn things on, turn things off. You have a ton of options here. There's two little checkboxes right next to that, though, that manage your daily and weekly chart list reports. A very, very cool feature, something that I am a huge fan of, called chart list reports. So the simple idea here, all you have to do to turn these chart list reports on is give these checkboxes a check. Now, when you first turn one on, it's going to ask you what kind of timing you want. So depending on kind of which market you are predominantly trading, which country you're trading out of, we've got a couple of different options in here. Now, for me, being in the US, of course, I'm going to select US market close and hit save. Now, I've turned on that daily report. I'm also going to turn on the weekly report. It's going to prompt me for that again, and it'll sort of have the same timing. It's going to use the same timing for both of those reports, by the way. You can't set them up with different menus. But we're going to hit save. Now what we've done is we've turned on daily and weekly chart list reports for our portfolio list. So you're probably wondering, what is a chart list report? Now, you've got the summary page here, right, that shows you these different price performance numbers over different time frames. You can select from different things like intraday, what's everything doing right now, 1 week, 1 month, even things like year to date. And that's going to tell you what all of the symbols in this list are doing today or over the last week, over the last month, so on and so forth. Now, you could come here manually every day on your own and say, what did my portfolio do? I'm going to go to StockCharts, I'm going to pull up my chart list, and I'm going to look at this page to see what everything did. Or, because the theme of today's show is automating that whole process for you, you could come here and turn on these chart list reports. So chart list reports, very simple concept. They're going to send you a report via email at the end of the day or at the end of the week for everything in any chart list in your account. Now, when you do this with your portfolio list, that means at the end of the day, for the daily report, for instance, you're going to get a summary of this list, what everything did, what went up, what went down. That is going to get emailed out to you in a really nice, really compact, easy to follow format. Again, at the end of the day for that daily chart list report. This is a great, great, great way to monitor your portfolio, keep track of what everything is doing from day to day automatically. Really, all you have to do is wait for that notification to pop up on your phone or on your laptop, look for that email, and you'll get a summary of your portfolio delivered right to your inbox. Now, the weekly report does the exact same thing, but of course, it's for the week. So instead of looking at what all of those different portfolio positions did that day, it's going to look at how everything did that week. Now, we're going to put up a little screenshot of two of these chart list reports to show you what they look like. They should be over to the left right now. So you can see exactly what these daily and weekly reports look like. Very simple, very basic concept, but they are incredibly powerful. I have this set up for a ton of different things. Now, of course, we're talking about portfolios today. So you can use these chart list reports to follow your portfolio. But again, you can use this for a watch list. That's a great way to use these. You can also use this to track the sectors of the market, the major indexes that you want to follow, industry groups, any basket of stocks or funds or anything that you want to follow. You can actually set up a chart list with all of those different symbols in it, turn on these chart list reports, and you'll get that summary either at the end of the day or at the end of the week. The other great thing is that you can turn on either daily or weekly or both. You don't have to have both of them on. So if you're primarily a longer term investor, you want those reports to come in at the end of the week. How did everything do this week? Just turn the weekly report on and leave the daily one off. Now, if you don't really care about the weekly report and you just want to get those summaries at the end of the day, great. Turn on the daily reports and you're good to go. So you've got a whole bunch of different options for getting the most out of this tool. But I think once you create one of those chart lists with your portfolio in it, all those positions that you have, turn on those reports. It is a phenomenally helpful little feature. So that is step one today. Now we've created our portfolio chart list. We've turned on daily and weekly reports to automatically monitor that list as we go. But now we might want to dig into things beyond just price moves, right? Those daily and weekly reports are going to tell you how things are moving up or down on a price and percentage basis. But we might want to get automated with some of the technicals that we really care about. How are the moving averages doing? How's RSI doing? How are some of these different indicators that I care about? How are those looking for my different positions? So next up, we're going to take that portfolio list, we're going to take all the positions in it, and we're going to start creating some automatic alerts to help you track all those positions at a deeper level. Very, very cool stuff. So to do that, we're going to jump over to the Advanced Alert Workbench. Now, first up, I want to show you one quick thing. We're going to come up to this menu. We're going to open that up. Once you're logged into your account, you can always open this menu from any page around the site. Of course, that gives you quick access to some of those key features like ChartList. It also gives you quick access to all of your alerts in one place. So you can click your alerts and you'll see that you jump over to what we call the Alert Center page or the Alert Summary page. Now we have two different types of alerts on StockCharts. You have basic price alerts, another great tool for tracking your portfolio, tracking individual positions. Of course, you can set price alerts on those. We'll take a quick look at that in just a second. But in addition to those price alerts, we have advanced alerts where you can really get crazy with all of your criteria. So when you first come to this summary page, you're going to see those price alerts that you've set up on your account up at the top. And then down below in that blue panel, you are going to see all of your advanced alerts. Now we're pausing here for a quick second because I want to show you all of the different alerts that I have set up in my own account. I'm actually going to sort this table by name. And as you can see, I've got about 28 alerts set up in my account, but a ton of them are portfolio alerts. So again, this is a tool, this is a feature that I use in my own approach to the markets. You're seeing something that's kind of coming out of my own toolkit. So what I like to do is name these alerts with portfolio in the name, as you can see, and that makes it really easy to kind of keep these in a group and kind of think about them all together. But you're actually seeing a little preview of what we're going to jump over and take a closer look at in just a minute. These are all of the alerts that I've created for my portfolio. So I've got some of the key moving averages that I follow, the 100, the 200, and the 50-day. Those are all simple moving averages. But if anything in my portfolio crosses below one of those key moving averages, I want to know about that as soon as it happens. I got a lot of positions. I can't follow every single chart in every single minute of every single day, but using these alerts, I can quickly get alerted when any of those key technical moves happens for the positions that I have in my own portfolio. That's the concept, pretty straightforward. The alerts tool is going to allow us to do that. So I've got these portfolio alerts set up for specific moving average crosses. I've also got some specific technical moves like a death cross or a golden cross. That's when the 50-day crosses below or above, respectively, the 200-day. So some of those key moving average crossovers that I want to track, I've got those in here for my portfolio. If anything that I own makes a new 52-week high, I want to know about that. If it makes a new 52-week low, I also want to know about that. Same idea for a new all-time high. If a stock or a fund that I own makes a new all-time high, I want to get a little alert. Go check that chart, see how it's trading around those key levels. Now, I've also got some more specific technical alerts set up. Things like parabolic SAR buy signals and parabolic SAR sell signals. Now, again, these are the portfolio alerts that I have set up in my account. You're going to take this concept, you are going to run with it. You're going to take your own criteria, the things that you care about, and inject that in here when you're building your portfolio alerts. But this really gives you a sense of kind of how crazy you can get with this. You can take any technical indicator, anything that you can scan for, you can set up an alert for that for this portfolio list, or again, your watch list as well. You got lots of options. I'll flip over to the next page. I've also got some portfolio alerts for anything that I own crossing below 50 or below 25 on the scooter as well. That's another one that we can look at. And then I've got some that I've played around with over the years: intermediate term sell, long term sell, short term sell. So you can really get pretty wild with these different things. But that's what we're going to take a look at. We're going to create your portfolio alerts next. So to do that, we're going to come back up to the top of the page. We're going to hit Technical Alert Workbench. And just to give you, like I said, a quick preview of that Price Alert Workbench, this is sort of the default view. When you first hit Technical Alert Workbench, it's going to take you to the Price Alert page. Super, super simple. You can type in a ticker symbol right here in the box, hit Enter, and that chart is going to come up as soon as you click off of that box. You get a little mini chart, and then you can set your trigger, whether it's crossing above or crossing below, enter a specific price, or even do a percentage move here. And of course, you can set your notification type using those little check boxes. You can also do this in ACP, by the way, simply by clicking on the chart exactly where you want to set your alert. So there's a little bell icon in the lower left corner. Give that a click. The alerts panel is going to come up on the left side of ACP, and then you can actually just click on the chart to set that price alert level. So very, very cool here. This is another great feature for monitoring the positions in your portfolio, but you have to do it one at a time. Of course, a price alert is specific to one symbol. So just wanted to give you a quick preview of that. Now, to do the big portfolio alerts though, we're going to click over to Advanced Alert. So under Alert Type there, we're going to move over to the Advanced Alert Workbench. Now, if you are familiar with scanning, this should look fairly familiar to you. If you're not that familiar with the Alert Workbench, but you do know our scanning workbench, our technical scanning workbench, they're actually kind of the same thing behind the scenes. So like I said earlier, I kind of hinted at this, anything that you can scan for, you can actually take that same syntax, all of that scan code, all of the manipulated words and context and all the stuff that you filled in for any of your scans, you can actually just paste that into the alert box right here and set up an alert for that as well. So a nice little workflow trick. If you've got scans set up and you want to create some alerts for those things, you can actually just paste them in here, use that kind of as a starting place. Scans and alerts are kind of a whole show, probably a whole series of shows on their own. So there's more to cover. If you're brand new to scanning, you're brand new to alerting, there's more to cover on that than we can really hit on today's show. The good news is though, you've got this components area down below, which allows you to select different criteria, and we will sort of automatically add that. So if you know that you want only stocks from a specific exchange, for instance, you can select that, hit add, and that criteria will automatically populate in here. So you can sort of use this alert components piece at the bottom, or panel at the bottom, as a kind of as an alert builder, if you will. You can kind of select different things from here. We've also got different predefined alerts. This is a really nice feature. So if you want things like new 52-week high, you can hit add, and you'll see that that'll automatically get dropped in there for you. So a little intro here to alerts. There is plenty of documentation, lots of help stuff, and we will obviously continue to do more shows on scanning and alerts in the future. But for now, let's say you're kind of familiar with that scan syntax. It is fairly simple once you learn it. It takes a little bit of effort to learn that scan syntax, that alert syntax, but it's not too tricky once you get used to it. So anyways, I'm going to pull up one of these portfolio alerts and we'll take a look at how those look. So up here in the saved alerts menu, I'm going to open up, let's do the new 52-week highs, actually. That one is down here at the bottom. This is kind of familiar because we just looked at that syntax. So this is how one of these portfolio alerts looks. Now, it's pretty straightforward. Again, we've created that chart list. You can run scans on specific chart lists or set alerts for all of the stocks and funds and components within a specific chart list. So we're going to take advantage of that feature of the technical alert workbench here. You can see in this syntax, what I've gone ahead and done is added in my all positions chart list. That's what this is referencing. And then I've got the criteria down below here. In this case, this is new 52-week high. So this is kind of what we're going to build up to. This is how this looks when we are done. Now, we're going to start from scratch, though, and show you exactly how to build these on your own. So we're going to blank this out and start from scratch. We're going to come down here, first and foremost, to that alert components area. This is why we did a quick tour of that just a minute ago. We're going to come down here to that alert components area, and we are going to select the chart list from our account that we have recently created. We're going to scroll through this menu and go find that. Where did we put it? My portfolio. There it is. So we're going to select that chart list that we created in our account that has all of those different symbols in it from our portfolio, and then we're going to hit add. Now you can see that top line of what I just showed you has basically appeared right here. Favorites list is and that number. Behind the scenes, every chart list has its own number. So once you create one of those chart lists, it's going to get pulled into here. This means that the alert is going to look for all of the symbols in that specific chart list. We're going to jump down to another line, and let's say we wanted to build that new 52-week highs alert. So we're going to come in here to predefined alerts. We're going to select new 52-week high, and we're going to hit add. Now that's added that in there, we can actually take that line out, and we've built up exactly what we just looked at, the exact scan or alert that I have created in my own account. What we're doing is saying all of the stocks in this specific chart list, if any of them make a new 52-week high, today's high is greater than yesterday's high for the past 253 days. That's the sort of translation of that little alert syntax. We've created that alert now. If anything in that chart list triggers a new 52-week high, we are going to get an alert about that. So now we can come up here, do save as, type in something like portfolio or my portfolio star stock making new 52-week high. We can type in whatever name we want. We hit save, and that has now been saved to our account. So now, anytime that criteria gets triggered, we're automatically going to get an alert. Now, the other key thing to set up here is kind of how frequent you want this and what your delivery is going to be. So you've got some options in here: continuously, all day, at the market open, at the market close, hourly. How often do you want this alert to run? I personally like mine to be continuously all day, but that is just me. You've got some options in there for you. And then you kind of fill out this sentence basically. So continuously all day, if the number of results for this alert is greater than 0, notify me via which delivery method do you want. Now you can choose email. You can get an email for this. You can choose text message if you want a text going straight to your phone. Or you can choose Workbench, which is going to be a site notification. I'll show you one of those in just a minute. And then what do you want us to do? Once one of these triggers, do you want us to continue the alert? Do you want us to pause the alert? Now, depending on what the alert criteria is, this might be different from case to case. In the case of these portfolio alerts, though, we want this to continue because, again, we want this to be kind of constantly running, automated in the background, if you will. So we're going to leave that one as continue. Choose your delivery method, choose continue here, hit save, and you're off to the races. By the way, if you click through one of these, it'll select one at a time, but if you hold down shift, you can actually select multiple. So for instance, if you wanted text messages and the site notifications, you can select that. Maybe you don't want the site notification, but you do want text messages and emails, you can select that as well. So you got a couple of different options in there. I like the Workbench notifications because I'm spending a lot of my time on stock charts, but those text message notifications are also pretty great. And the email ones send you a very nicely formatted email with a little link in there as well. So that's also a great option. But we're going to hit save. Once we've set that all up, it'll prompt us again. And there we go. We've now created our first portfolio alert. So from here, the idea is that you're going to run with this. You're going to customize this. You're going to take all the criteria that matters to you and sort of fill this in. Again, remember, I've got all of these different portfolio alerts set up for my account for specific moving average crossovers, specific technical moves, all of that kind of thing. You can fill this in now with all of the different specific technical moves that you want. Again, I find that the predefined alerts panel is a great place to start if you're kind of new to this. You can do things like bullish 50-200 day crossover. That's that golden cross. This is also kind of organized according to the predefined scans page, if you're familiar with that. So there's a little bit of organization here. You've also got all of your saved alerts in this menu as well. But this can be a great starting place. If you wanted, for instance, new 52-week lows or strong volume decliners, you can select anything and start to build your portfolio alerts using some of those. You can also come down here to our scan examples, give that a click. This has a ton of ideas for you as well. We've got tons and tons of sample scans, predefined scans, different things that people have contributed over the years. Again, remember, scans and alerts actually use the same syntax. So if you can scan for it, you can also alert for it. So you can jump in here to, for instance, sample scans, breeze through some of the different ideas in here. There you go, golden cross, death cross. You got lots of ideas here. And you can actually just take any of this criteria, highlight it, copy that. I just hit Apple C to copy that, and you can actually just paste that right in here. So for instance, if you wanted one of those bullish golden crosses, there you go. The syntax for a golden cross is right in there. You combine that with the My Portfolio link that you've got up at the top. You could save this now as golden cross. So very easy to set these up. Again, once you've created one of those portfolio chart lists, you can use that kind of as the basis, set up those alerts so that they automatically fire for all of the stocks and funds and different positions that you have in your account. By the way, wanted to preview what one of those looks like. They are very, very cool little alerts. So when you are on the ChartCharts workbench, let's say you're looking at Microsoft, these portfolio alerts are going to jump up to the top of the page when any of those fires. Now it's going to be a big green banner going across the page. It's going to say technical alert in it. If you set up one of the price alerts, by the way, this will say price alert, so it'll tell you kind of which type has been triggered. But it'll have the name of that alert, and then it'll tell you when it was triggered with a link to see the results. So this is a good kind of pause moment here. This is why I like to put the star portfolio in the name instead of just something generic like crosses above 100-day moving average. I like to have that in there, so when one of these alerts triggers in my account, I know exactly what it is. I've got portfolio right in the name. I instantly know, ooh, this is a portfolio alert. This is something that I own. Crosses below the 50-day or crosses below the 100-day. I know exactly kind of what I'm in store for there. Now, when you click See Results, that's going to open up the Alert Results page in a new tab. Takes a second to load those in sometimes, but you've got all of those alert results right here in this nicely formatted page. So you can actually get one of these portfolio alerts and then see the symbols that have triggered that. If you get the email or the text message, we've also got links to this page as well. So in any delivery method, you're going to have a link back to one of these alert results pages. Very, very nice though. This is actually something that we added to the alert workflow earlier this year, having this alert results page, and it's been very, very handy. So that's what these look like. If you want to get rid of them, you can always close these down, by the way. Just hit those little X's. You can see a busy day like today, I've got a whole bunch of these things firing. It's only going to show you 2 at a time, so keep that in mind. We don't want to stack that whole page up with a ton of alerts if you have a lot of them going off. So it'll show you 2 at a time, and you can sort of cycle through those, clear them out like you just saw. If you ever want to get back to all of your notifications, by the way, you can come up to that menu at the top, hit Your Account. That's going to take you over to the Your Account page. And when you scroll down to the bottom here, there's actually a button that says View Notification History. So here is all of the different notifications that have been firing from my account over the last couple of weeks. You can see I've got a ton of these, and the markets have been so incredibly busy. It has been an interesting time to be sitting in the markets. But you can see all of these here. You can actually get back to any of those alert result pages as well. Hit that see results button. And I think there's a price alert in here somewhere. You can see, yep, there we go. Apple crosses below 136. That's what that one looks like if it is a price alert. So very, very similar, but it's nice that little red label will say price alert instead of technical alert. So that is portfolio alerts in a nutshell. So what we have done here, we've built up that portfolio chart list. We've filled that in with all of the different symbols that we own. We've set up that daily and that weekly report. Makes it really, really easy to follow what's happening in our portfolio every single day right to your inbox. You get that daily report. At the end of the week, you get that weekly report. That's always a highlight of my week, seeing what everything did at the end of the week. So that was our first stop after setting up that portfolio list. We set up our daily and our weekly reports, but then we jumped over to the technical alert workbench. The advanced alert workbench showed you how to set up some of these portfolio alerts. Now, you guys get to go crazy with this if you want moving average crossovers, if you want percentage moves, if you want specific technical indicators, RSI crosses above 70, anything that you can think of, you can assign that to your portfolio. You can create an alert for pretty much anything that you can dream up. We gave you a little preview there with the new 52-week highs and the golden cross. We showed you some of that syntax. But again, the idea of today's show was to get those gears turning in your head. You create that list, jump over to the advanced alert workbench, and start going nuts with the criteria that matters to you. Again, this is a great way to monitor your portfolio, almost monitor the charts without having to even see the charts. You can really let StockCharts kind of do the legwork for you. If you've got specific criteria that you want to follow, you can set this up and we will track it for you. We'll send you those text messages, send you those emails, send you those site notifications when anything happens. So again, from a sort of portfolio monitoring standpoint, this is a very, very powerful concept. and can be used also with technical indicators and things that you don't necessarily want to track on the charts, but you do think are important. So for me, for instance, parabolic buy signals are an interesting little technical indicator. I don't want to have them on my charts at all times, but it's always interesting when something flips either to a buy signal or a sell signal for something that I own. I've messed around with this in the past with other technical indicators, things like the Chande trend meter. When anything in my portfolio moves into the trending zone or moves out of the trending zone, you can really go crazy. So if there are things that you actually don't want to primarily chart on every single chart, but you do kind of want to track those at the portfolio level for different symbols that you're following, this is a great way to do it. Again, also a great tool for your watch list. If you're building up a watch list, instead of all the symbols that you have in your portfolio, all the symbols that you're thinking about adding to your portfolio, put those in a watch list, create a chart list for them just like we showed you earlier, put all those symbols in a watch list, and then you can do the exact same thing. You can set up daily and weekly reports for that watch list. You can also create alerts for that watch list. So maybe you want everything in that watch list to be monitored. If something gets overbought or if something's on a parabolic SAR buy signal, anything that you can think of, you can do the exact same thing. Use this to actually track all those different symbols that you are watching in one of your key lists. So lots of different use cases for this. Again, hopefully this is getting the gears going in your head, getting you thinking about some creative different ways to combine some of these tools around stock charts and get the most value out of the site. Again, that's our mission here with this show every Friday. Stock Charts in Focus. We really just sit down, take a look at the tools, take a look at the features, tour you around different corners of the site, show you what's new as well. But every Friday, join me for more episodes of Stock Charts in Focus, for more content like this, just kind of poking around the site, showing you different things that you have access to as a Stock Charts member, as a Stock Charts user, showing you all the different ways to get the most out of Stock Charts. There is a ton on Stock Charts. We get that feedback a lot. So much to learn, but so much power there. Things like this, setting up these automatic alerts for your portfolio, incredibly powerful concept. Things that you can do with the site that are very, very cool. So we do it all here on Stock Charts in Focus. We show you every Friday different ways to get more out of Stock Charts. So thank you for joining me on today's show. Again, we'll be back next week with another episode, 3 p.m. Eastern Time every Friday, but also up on the YouTube channel after that and the on-demand platform at stockchartstv.com. Also, of course, on YouTube and that on-demand platform, you can breeze back through past episodes of the show. We've been doing this show for a long time. We've built up quite a directory, quite a collection of episodes on pretty much every topic around stock charts. So if you've ever got anything that you're curious about, go to YouTube, type in Stock Charts in Focus, and then the keyword that you're thinking about. Alerts, reports, scans, charts, anything that you want. Type that into YouTube. We've probably done an episode on it. Even different things like our other tools like perf charts or seasonality. You can pull up things like ACP if you want kind of a tutorial on ACP. Search YouTube for Stock Charts in Focus ACP, and we've got tons of episodes that'll help you get more value out of ACP. So big collection of episodes from the past. There's always fun stuff to see in there. And of course, more coming always every week here on Stock Charts in Focus. Again, my name is Grayson Roze, Vice President of Operations here at StockCharts.com. It's been great to be with you. I'll see you again soon for another episode of Stock Charts in Focus, but until then, chart on, my friends.